Hello guys, this is Emmanuel, and today's tutorial I'll be showing you guys how to color correct 3D scenes to get it to look exactly like how it looks in a video game. It's basically a compositing slash color correction video. I think one of the biggest parts of creating a 3D is to make sure the subject fits with the background. And there's various things that you have to do. You have to consider the shadows of the scene, and the shadows of the subject, and the kind of depth that the scene has. In this example, we have a Spartan on Narrows, which is a Halo 3 map, and he's picking up a frag grenade. We'll begin. I'm gonna start you guys off how I think, how my thought process is when I begin compositing footage, 3D footage onto gameplay footage. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this, everything except for the cameras. So now that we have everything in here, what we're going to do is we're going to start importing. Oh, let's make this a little shorter, 10 frames. We're gonna start importing our rendered 3D footage. I'm gonna assume that you've already rendered your footage, and you're here to follow this tutorial. Okay, let's begin. Okay, but one thing I want to do before we start is I kinda wanna match this background a bit, because it seems to be a bit opaque for this comp right here. I know this is how it looks in game, but for it to fit with the actual subject, we need to darken this background right here. So what I usually do is I create a new null object, and I go to Effect, Color Correction, Curves, and I just bring down the curves a bit to kind of darken the background, and then I'll just mask it out to the part that I want, and then I'll just feather it. Uh, now that we have this dark background kind of theme, which is what we're going for, because you know. Okay, so we have that darkened, and I'm gonna start importing my 3D objects. First of all, we're gonna work with the diffuse layer. Make sure the color correction that we just made is in the background. So right away we import our 3D layer, and we can see that the Spartan itself is a bit desaturated and doesn't fit well with the background, and that could be because of many things. No shadows, no ambient occlusion, no all that stuff, no contact points on the feet and the fingers and stuff, and this frag here has no contact point. So what we'll do to fix that is, first of all, let's work with the saturation and stuff, color correction, hue and saturation, and I would saturate this a bit. uh, 10 10 seems to be good. Okay, you might want to bring up the blue channels for you know what, I'll make this 5, and I'll bring up the blue channels, -5, sorry, and bring up the blue channels to kind of saturate this bit. So that's looking a bit better. Now I'm gonna add a curves to kind of give it the same tones, because the tones in this seem to be a bit dark. Like the blacks here and the blacks here don't match. This one seems to be a little bit brighter than this one, so we're gonna fix that. Color correction, curves, and you're just gonna bring that up a bit until it looks proper. And yeah, I think right there it looks good, just a tiny bit. And it's just little things like that that sell your compositing. You have to take this very seriously. And now I'm gonna drop my ambient occlusion, which is basically the contact points. It specializes on the contact points, the shadows under the feet, and under the armpits and under the neck and stuff. You still do need a shadow map um, when compositing. It benefits your footage, and as we can see right away that the ambient occlusion pass makes it a bit too dark, but we'll get to that in a second. First of all, let's add a curves adjustment to this effect, color correction curves, and let's bring that down a bit to make it darker. And we don't want our subjects itself to be that dark, so what we'll do is we'll add a mask. We'll feather this out a bit up to his waist, subtract, and then feather it out because we want to see the contact points. We don't want our subject's face to be dark. Okay, now let's bring in our shadows. And right away you can see that the shadows are a bit dark, so I'm gonna decrease the opacity and bring that down. Okay, so that's basically it. We got the compositing part done, and it varies on your scene, but basically just try to think of everything that would be would change your scene. Remember, just focus on the little things. Don't try to make big differences in your footage. I think having this dark background here makes it everything better. So I guess we can now begin to work on the beauty pass, which is adding depth of field and all of that stuff. Um, for that, we're gonna add a new adjustment layer. Add effect, blur, sharpen, lens. If you don't have CS 5.5, it'll be lens blur, not camera lens blur. So keep that in mind. And we'll make this 7. And then what I'll do is I'll get this out here and F, and then fast blur to kind of blur the background a bit. It sells the footage. With 3D, you got to be very careful the kind of stuff you do. You want the footage to enriching the gameplay. You want it to look as real as possible. And then after you're done compositing, after you're happy with how it looks, then you could begin adding color correction and stuff. But make sure you focus on this stuff first before you start adding all these crazy colors and stuff. Don't add colors because you want to cover your bad compositing. That's a bad idea. I had to learn the hard way, but I'm here to tell you guys that you're better off doing it this way. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.